Hello guys, in this video we are going to be doing something very exciting. Well, it's very exciting for me. So in this video I'm going to be talking about, are these romance Booktok books actually worth the hype? Now there are so many romance books that I feel like every single day you go onto Booktok and there is a new romance book that people are recommending, and it's just the list, it keeps going and I actually don't know how to stop. And so today we're going to decide, all this hype around this one single book or multiple books, is it really worth it? So how this video is going to work is, first of all, I have a cute jar. Do you see? So I have a cute jar with chit of book names in it. So these are all romance books recommended by Booktok, or mostly what I think have been recommended by Booktok because I bought them because of Booktok. So what I'm going to be doing is picking up a chit, and then we're gonna get a book at random. I will talk about the book, what it's about, what I thought, what my ratings were for that book, and then keep listening. We're going to be tossing it either into the bin, not worth the hype, or a cute little picnic basket worth the hype. So without further ado, I guess let's get started. I'm just so excited. This is so cute. Also, it was so hard to tie this bow, but we're here, so we're not going to the past. So let's give it a mix, shall we? Also, my cats were playing with these chits before this, so hopefully they haven't swallowed any of these book names, because that would just not be nice. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, I'll open it and you can see first. Do you see it? Do you see it? It ends with us. Of course, the most controversial book on this planet is what we start with. Okay, so from what I remember, book is basically on abuse in a relationship. This girl, I think her name is Lily. I never remember her name, so it's okay. So there's Lily and there's Ryle. They eventually someday become a couple. However, then abuse begins between them, and Ryle is basically abusive, mentally, physically, everything, and she still stays with him. She's just in love with him, and that's what the book is about, her journey through that abusive relationship. For me, this was actually the book that brought me back into reading. Work, after school, like, I was exhausted. I did not have time or mental energy to ever pick up a book. I picked this one up and I actually fell in love with reading again. I finished this book really quickly, and after that I was like, why do I not read books anymore? So, you know, that book does have a big place in my heart just because of that reason. And I know it has done the same thing for many other readers as well. Honestly, it was very easy to read, very easy to go through. The topic was definitely dark, but you know, at the end I found it to be, towards the end, like a beautiful book. I actually really liked it. So I know if there was someone else in my place, they would probably toss this name right in the bin. For me, it's different, so I'm gonna not toss, like, gently. You can go to the worth the hype. Are you ready? Next one. I think I like you getting to see first, although I do have the urge to look at it myself. Okay, do you see it? Or am I better than the movie? Okay, so this book is basically about Wes and, what's the girl's name? I don't know, some girl, and it's basically a YA book. They both are teenagers, or either in their early 20s, and Wes and this girl are basically childhood rivals. They have hated each other since they were young. Now that they're all grown up, the girl has a favor to ask from Wes, and he asks for something in return. That's where their deal begins, to fake date. That's what the book is about. The girl wants to fake date to make some guy jealous, and because he wants the parking spot where the girl parks. Now, I did not love this book so much. I was recovering from a reading slump when I was reading this book, and when I was reading this book, I just felt like the book was going on and on and on, and it wasn't ending. And I cared for the characters at the beginning, but towards the middle, I was like, okay, like, just like make up, like become friends, at least become friends. You both are like acquaintances at this point. You do not hate each other, so like stop hiding. So that was really frustrating for me. The girl character started becoming frustrating as well, because I think she was just thinking some silly weird thoughts again and again, and I was like, stop it. And towards the end, I think I just stopped caring for any of the characters, which is never fun. I gave this book a 3-star, and honestly, I still agree. Many people love this book, and there's also a second book. I would not go and pick up the second book personally. So for me, unfortunately, that will go in the not worth the hype, at least for me. Okay, next one. Mix. Can you see it? Also, I'd be surprised if I haven't held up a chit upside down so far. That will be, oh, I have now. Okay. Twisted series. Okay, finally something I like. Basically, this Twisted series consists of 4 books. We have Twisted Love, Hate, Lies, and Games. Not in that order at all. So basically, all the characters are in the same world. All the girls in the books are basically best friends, and then you have their partners who are related to each other in some way or the other. So I really love this series. My favorite is Twisted Games. My least favorite is Twisted Lies, just because what's his name? He was just so weird. I did not find him attractive at all. He was yapping and yapping and yapping, and he wasn't closing, and I was like, how is this girl falling in love with him even though he's yapping so much? Because whatever he said did not make sense and shouldn't have come out of his mouth in the first place. So however, as a whole, I really love the series. Just love that I can get to read the characters that I love again and again, like 3 more times after their own book is over. And I feel like the storylines as well, like the plots of each of the books, I really like. Also, you have like brave men in these that will kill anyone to save the girl, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you do you. Save the girl, because why would you not unalive a person who breathed, who inhaled the wrong way in front of your girl? Why wouldn't you do that? That is common sense. Minimum wage. What am I trying to say? Minimum decency. You know what I mean? So, you know, all of that to say, I really love the book. So it will go in the picnic basket. The next one. Okay. So, and the next book. When in Rome. Okay, so this book is a very thin book. It takes place in the town of Rome, Kentucky, not the actual Rome. And basically this book surrounds a pop star who is tired of her pop star life, but she's on her way somewhere and her car breaks down in front of this guy's house in Rome, Kentucky. And then he's like, you know what? I guess you can stay at my house because your car is broken. And then the story starts there. Also, the guy is a pie shop owner. He makes pies. We love that. And yeah, so it's basically, you know, pop girl in a normal world, living best of both worlds like Hannah Montana. That is what is happening in this book. This book was a very sweet book. I did enjoy it. However, it was going a bit too slow in terms of the chemistry between the couple. Like, they hated each other until like till death do us part. They really hated each other until like the end of the book. They really started like looking at each other in an endearing manner towards the end, which I found a little bit frustrating because it was a thin book. I just wanted something to happen. Like, at least like say you like each other. I don't know. So I don't like that aspect. The storyline started becoming a bit like slow and boring towards the middle half of the book. However, I did enjoy the experience and the vibes of this book. I would recommend it to anyone wanting to read it. Do I understand what the hype was for this book? I do not. I don't think it was that of a book that it probably needed the hype. However, it was a good read. So I'm stuck over here. You know what? I'm gonna be nice. Also, I gave it a 4-star. It wasn't a bad read. It was just like the vibes were not vibing. But I'm still gonna give it no. See, I did like it. Also, it wasn't like popular Booktok book vibe. You know what? I'm gonna keep a stone, a rock at my heart. That was the same. I'm gonna put it in not worth the hype. It's a lovely book, but worth the hype? I don't think so. Okay. Almost saw it. I almost saw it. And the next book, Calling Her for the Royal Guard. So this book is basically about, I don't know the female character's name. It is about Lucy. I already said I don't know, so I don't need to try. Our main female character lives in the Tower of London. She works as a tour guide of the Tower of London. She's a very shy, introverted girl. Her mother's passed away, so she's also dealing with grief in the story. And then our male character is a royal guard, the ones who do not move. Our girl one day is like, you know what if I tried making him move, like, you know, teasing him and whatever. And that's basically her quest. She wants to see if he will move. And one day he does, and then indirectly they start interacting with each other while he's on duty, while she is at work. So it's a lot of like it's just cute stuff. I love the book. Love it. I love the concept of this book, so I definitely get what the hype was about. It's a very cozy, wholesome type of book. I don't know, this is the first book I think that I've ever read where both our male and female characters are very innocent in a way. Like, they're very pure, gentle-hearted. Also, this is the first time I've seen where you have the female character and the male character both a little bit on the reserved side. And also you have this mystery from the male, like for the entirety of the book, because you don't really know who he is. Which I really like that aspect, because in a romance book, like, it had me gripped. I was like, who is he? What is his name? And why does he keep doing these weird things? Like, is something wrong with him? So that was really interesting. Gave it a 5 star. If you couldn't already tell by me giggling over these, I loved the book. No second thoughts, is going in the worth the hype basket. Next one. Yeah. Okay. Happy Place. Okay, what was Happy Place about? I'm confusing Happy Place with Funny Story. A couple who broke up months ago. Why did I say it like that? A couple who broke up months ago pretend to still be together for their annual week-long vacation with their best friends. Yes. So that is basically what the book is about. And I had a grand of a time reading this. This was my first time reading an Emily Henry book, and I saw so many booktubers and so many people just saying how they love Emily Henry. Why? The writing was so easy to read, also so beautifully written. Also, if I remember correctly, you get to know the POVs of each of the characters in the book as well. Again, if I'm correct, I can like still imagine some of these scenarios that happen in the book in my mind, like so vividly, because like, for example, there's a wine cellar, like there's something that happens there. It's just like small moments. And this book also had me shedding some tears, which I did not expect. It was written beautifully, it was engaging, it was captivating. What else do I need? That is it. I am pleased very easily, and that will go in the worth the hype basket. Did it even go in the basket? Next one. And the next one is Love Lockdown. So this one is basically about 5 couples who are locked down during lockdown in their buildings, and all of them are connected in some way to each other. So you have a couple who's about to break up. If I remember correctly, you have a couple who's about to break up. You have a couple who's about to be engaged. There's a bachelorette party happening in one of the apartments. All these 5 apartments have different stories going on in them, and they're also interconnected in some way. For me, it was an okay book. It was a nice time. I didn't really love it that much. It was also getting a bit hard for me to keep up with all the couples and all the apartments and like who was who. Like it took me like a very long time until like I reached the half mark of the book to understand who was who. I started sleeping. I guess I was just over it. And also this book is very much character driven because of what's happening. You know, like no one's actually gonna leave the building, so nothing like that immense is gonna happen. So it was like a cozy, nice book encapsulated in a building, but towards the end I did not enjoy it that much. Was it worth the hype? I mean, I don't know if I've heard too much hype about this, but I definitely think this was one of the hype books. I mean, I didn't really enjoy it, so I would say it was not worth the hype. Definitely if someone else would read it, they'd probably enjoy it just like every other book, but for me it did not do it. Okay, so the next book, it is Upside Down, Just for the Summer. So this book I do remember. I think our female character in this book is a traveling nurse, and she has a curse that whenever she dates someone, they break up with her and then they end up falling in love with someone else, basically the next person that they're dating. And the same thing happens with this guy who is somewhere else, you know, in the country. The same thing happens with him. People break up with him, they fall in love with someone else right after him, and then they marry them. So they basically both think they have a curse. They find each other some way and they're like, you know what, maybe if we date each other and then, you know, we break up, we'll find our loves of our lives. So that's what they set out to do. Wholesome book. Made me cry, made me sob, made me feel all the emotions there ever were emotion. There's so many complexities to this book. There's so many characters in this, everyone dealing with their own problems and situations. Also, the girl ends up living on an island where like she has to boat from the island to the actual city to go to work every single day, which it is just fun. So when she gets sick, the boy takes care of him. Genders do not exist to me. The guy goes to take care of her. I don't know about you, it's a small thing, but it is heart melting. I think this book has the most intense, complicated character arc of these characters that I've ever read. There's like crying, there's laughing, there's sobbing, there's breaking up, there's getting back together, there's every single thing. And for me, definitely worth the hype. Like if you haven't read it yet, you need to like right now buy it and read it. And those were all the popular Booktok romance books that I have read so far, and if they were worth the hype or not. I think I put most of the books in worth the hype, which is a great thing. Let me know from all the books that I talked about, which books do you think were worth the hype or which were not worth the hype. Let's conversate in the comments, and please make sure to subscribe if you liked this video to stay tuned to the videos I post every single week, and I will see you in my next video. This is so pretty. I don't know what to do with it afterwards. Okay, bye.